what everybody's talking about. We sure hope it's food today. That's what we're going to be discussing on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And Jerry and I love food, every type of food you can imagine. And we want you to participate. But we're going to, zero in on different areas of the country, maybe even different areas of the world. If you want to call in from our international audience, that would be great. But, every region, Jerry, every city, has a different feel, a different flavor with food and even beverages as well. I know there's a lot of breweries out there in different parts of the U.S. and, people, even different types of teas and coffee and all sorts of things. But then food is something that brings us all together, Jerry, and we wanted to highlight that today and kind of let our listeners maybe brag a little about where they're from and the special, unique food that is part of where they live. I think it's important because food, we see food all the time in the Bible, right? And it's important. And so obviously it does bring us connected. It gets us connected. And so it's great that we acknowledge it every once in a while.
Looking forward to this conversation. What food or cuisine, or maybe, as Debbie said, a brewery, a winery, maybe some other, milkshake, ice cream. What is your part of the country known for? People go there if they're from out of town and they say, well, while I'm in town, I've got to go to where? Where is it in your area? Is that must go to place? 833-288 EWTN 833-288-3986. And Debbie mentioned our international listeners. You can always call. A phone number for international is 205-271-2985. And you can email take2@EWTN.com, post on the show website, take2show.com. And hello, good morning, good day to those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, because you can post right there as well.
Yes, we're waving to you. So we have Rich Jesse is at the controls today, so that's wonderful. Social media is being monitored, I believe, by Michael. And Tom Price is call screening today. That is a real treat for our Take Two family members. So call Tom and say hi to him, because you always hear him on the radio all the time, especially in Call to Communion with Dr. David Anders. He does a fabulous job. That is a great show, super popular. But Jerry, it would be great for our listeners to fill the phone lines, and Tom can hear about all the great food and drink that is around the world from various parts of the country. I think isn't Tom from Missouri? And I believe so. And so the interesting thing about Missouri is they're known for some really great Italian food. And I didn't realize that until I traveled to Missouri, because I thought New Jersey had the best Italian food. And when I went to Missouri, it was amazing. It's called The Hill, and you drive towards it and you can just smell the Italian food. It's incredible.
The garlic. You can smell.
The garlic, the basil. You can. Yeah, it's incredible. But we need you to call in and tell us what food represents your part of the country. Here is the number, 833-288-3986. And by the way, New Jersey's also home of very gigantic deli sandwiches. I mean, like 4 inches, thick. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, come on, you guys. Let's see. Give a little shout out for your area right now. Debbie and I are going to share. She is in Phoenix, and I'm in Southern California. And California has a lot of different regions that kind of have their own little, culinary vibe, so to speak. But we're talking today about food. Debbie mentioned the importance of it. It brings us together. We have the Eucharist. Jesus was always dining with his disciples and even, sinners and tax collectors and all of that. So what is your part of the country known for? Here's the number, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. If you're fast, you can get in on the first set of calls, because we got a few lines that are open right now.
Okay, so we want you to really highlight where you live and tell us what's really special and unique. Maybe there's a certain dessert or something that's unique to a certain culture where you live. I understand that in the Cleveland area, it's pierogies, so you have that. I personally love Castroville, California. It's the capital, the city that's best known for the artichoke, and it's everything. They have artichoke pie and artichoke, entrees and artichoke everything. I love artichokes. I could totally live in Castroville, California, or maybe even Napa Valley or Sonoma County, where they have the great wineries, right, Jerry? And so there's wonderful things. California seems like it has a little bit of everything, because you also have in Southern California, you have a great Sicilian district where there's great Sicilian food. I don't know if you know that, Jerry.
I wasn't aware of that. I know Southern California has, many, many things that we're known for, but a couple that I can recall to mind right away. One is like fish tacos, and Rubio's is very, very known for that, but also In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is huge here in Southern California, and I know you have some, I believe, and do you have In-N-Out in Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and they're
good.
always packed.
Yeah, no, they are. The line is long, and it's very, very simple menu: burgers, cheeseburgers, fries, sodas, and milkshakes, and that's it, and reasonably priced. But anyway, see, I'm getting hungry now.
But Jerry, those are chain restaurants too, because what about in Northern California? You have a really great, the most amazing fish I've ever seen, outside of San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You have a lot in California, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when I was born in Seattle, and they're known, of course, for I think it's called the Pike Place Market. Anytime there's a football game in Seattle, they go down and film there, and these guys are throwing these huge salmon back and forth to each other. It's really kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, and it is lunch hour on the East Coast, and Debbie, we already heard from Ron in Buffalo at Take2 at EWTN.com. He says, of course, he's in Buffalo. He says, of course, chicken wings are our specialty.
Yes.
Have you guys ever been here and had them? I know I've been there several times.
Oh, many times. We worked the pledge drives for the Station of the Cross, and they always bring in all different types of wings with all the different sauces. You remember, that's where I got used to the hot, the typical hot buffalo wing sauce, and then all the other ones like barbecue, and there's all these different in between flavors that are amazing in that area. I totally agree. You're definitely the home of wings, and incredible sandwiches.
The Anchor Bar, I've been there a couple times, supposedly the birthplace of buffalo wings. So Take2 family, take it away. This is your show. What food or drink or culinary items is your part of the country or the world known for? 833-288-3986.
Tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Morning Show.
We'll continue our discussion of humility in the Christian life with Dr. Kevin Vost, author of Humble Strength. We'll also dig into American religious history with Gary Machuda and catch up with canon lawyer Father Philip Michael Tangora. Plus all the latest news, weather, sports, and everything else you need to start your day.
The Sunrise Morning Show, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Here's one of G.K. Chesterton's great prophetic insights. He said, "You are free in our time to say that God does not exist. You're free to say that he exists and is evil. You may talk of God as a metaphor or a mystification, and it's not merely that nobody punishes, but nobody protests. But if you speak of God as a fact, as a thing like a tiger, a reason for changing one's conduct, then the modern world will stop you somehow if it can. We are long past talking about whether an unbeliever should be punished for being irreverent. It's now thought irreverent to be a believer."
Spend more time with the Apostle of Common Sense. Visit chesterton.org for more information and go to EWTNRC.com to discover more books and programs written and inspired by G.K. Chesterton.
We're talking about, this small little topic like food, which we all need to survive. And we survive spiritually on the Eucharist, and we survive physically on the sustenance that we eat. And as Debbie and I have traveled over the years, we have just had the opportunity to,
Eat a lot.
be fed, eat and drink at some of the really cool places around the United States, even around the world for that matter. Debbie has been to Italy, and we've been to the Holy Land. So we want to hear from you, Take Two family. Wherever you live, there must be something, some kind of food, drink, cuisine, culinary, something that your specialty, that your part of the country or the world is known for. So call in, give a shout out, brag on it, and you may give some people some travel ideas because they may just want to come to your area. So the number is 833-288-3986. And EWTN radio is available on smart speakers like Amazon Echo, Google Assistant, and others. For example, you can say to EWTN radio, or you can listen to EWTN radio just by saying, Alexa, ask EWTN to play Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. That's on smart speakers like Amazon Echo, Google Assistant, and others.
So I just got this message, I guess, in Sicily, where my father's home, where my father was from, his family, they're known for pistachios, everything having to do with pistachios. And isn't that funny? I love pistachios. It's my favorite nut.
Yeah.
You do too? Yeah, that is so interesting. I didn't know that. My brother Mike just sent that in. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. We had somebody call in. I saw what was on the comment. It said something about Philly cheesesteaks for Philadelphia. Absolutely. Somebody call back. Come on and brag about. Remember we had those? So when we went to the what was it? The
World Meeting of Families, yeah.
World Meeting of Families, right, in Philadelphia. We were eating so many cheesesteaks. It was unbelievable. Okay, so yes, I just got a message saying, what about Arizona? Okay, Arizona, we have incredible Mexican food, known for our chimichangas and cheese crisps and lots of hot sauces and our fry bread and also prickly pear, everything. So anything that's like cactus jelly and stuff like that, we have that. So that's why I was sharing with Jerry on the break. I was kind of leaning on California being a better, culinary experience than Arizona. No offense to Arizona, but we don't really have. I don't think we're really known for anything spectacular. I don't mean to say that. I've lived here for 38 years. I love Arizona, but our restaurants and stuff, they're good. I miss New Jersey. I really do. New Jersey, in my opinion, had the best food ever.
That's a totally unbiased opinion right there, folks. 833.
And I hope my Arizona friends don't call me up and say, get out of here, then leave Arizona.
833-288-3986. Anna Marie commented on social media, says, I'm in Texas. The best is steak, barbecue, and Tex-Mex. And we have a visitor, Father John Bosco from Uganda, in studio at EWTN today, learning a little bit about Catholic radio. And it says here it's Matuki. I'm not sure if I said that right. Maybe on the break we can get a clarification on that. I might even look it up online. I wonder what that is. But, yeah. But hey, we've got calls to get to. Let's get on with the calls here. Irene will be up first, listening in West Central Ohio on Sirius XM 130. Hello, Irene. Welcome.
Hi. So we have some great foods around here. One that I didn't know about until my daughter moved away and then came home was a shredded chicken sandwich. She said, Mom, I just can't get those in Wisconsin. And so they're a staple of funeral dinners and any kind of carry-in. It's shredded chicken and some kind of creamy sauce. I never make it because somebody else always brings it, but served just on a regular little hamburger bun. Another one is green bean casserole, which I think has spread in popularity as people have fanned out from the Midwest. It's green beans, cream of mushroom soup, and jerky French fried onions, all baked together. And it's an absolute must at family gatherings. I have to make a huge amount because some of the kids take it home with them. And also your call screener for Cincinnati, you have to have him chime in about Cincinnati-style chili. He'll give you a good conversation. But one of the great specialties of Ohio is a buckeye. It's a little treat that it's a peanut butter kind of, not quite a fudge, but a creamy peanut butter filling, wrapped in chocolate, and it looks like a buckeye, which is a nut off of a tree that's native to Ohio. Right. And everybody's got their own recipes. They're absolutely amazing, bite size of heaven.
Beautiful.
Okay, so can I just comment on that, Irene? First of all, I love shredded chicken sandwiches. I've never, and when you were describing it, that sounded amazing, and the bean casserole as well. But I've had the Buckeyes. I've been, several times to Ohio for pledge drives every single year, and they're quite fattening. I just want to say, because you just can't eat one.
No, you can't.
So what do? Do you have to kind of, do you just make them during the holidays, or do you have them always on hand?
Well, I'm known for my special Buckeye recipe, and so I do make them year round, but especially during football season, because it's just kind of a staple supporting the Ohio State Buckeyes. You can't watch the game without having some chocolate and peanut butter Buckeyes on hand.
Yeah, they're delicious, very addicting. They're delicious. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I totally agree with you. And then we had some friends last night that told us from the Cleveland area, they would say it's pierogies. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually from Cleveland, and didn't even think about that. My family is Eastern European on my mom's side, and so we ate a lot of those nice ethnic foods. And living in Cleveland, we had great exposure to pierogies, which I love to make during Lent. We use them as one of our Friday meals during Lent. We make potato pierogies. Or we did. The kids are all grown now, but it used to be a family project. We'd make pierogies and have them for dinner.
Wow.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for getting us started today on the program, and you've made us even more hungry, so thank you for doing that.
I was thinking about that. I haven't had lunch yet, and I'm like, man, when I get where I'm going, I need to grab something to eat, because just thinking about all these wonderful foods is making me hungry.
Yeah. Praise God. They're all a gift from God. Thanks, Irene. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
God bless you, too. Michael is on social media today, and he says, in Saratoga Springs, New York, there's a street named after the potato chip.
Wow.
Okay. I was not aware of that, but I'm not surprised. There are a lot of interesting street names all throughout our country.
Oh, and then you messaged in about White Castle hamburgers. Yeah, that's big back east. White Castle.
Well, I was
is
mentioning
big.
that when you were talking about our EWTN's program director, Tom Price, who's our screener today, being from St. Louis. Every time I went to St. Louis, I had to have White Castle sliders and Ted Drew's frozen custard. And those are two of the, I'm sure there's a lot more. You mentioned the Hill. Former Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda had his own special room at a restaurant on the Hill there.
Right,
So
right.
beautiful.
I thought Missouri also was Steak and Shake.
I've seen that there too, and I've eaten there. Yeah, absolutely.
The reason why I know that is I've seen people get off the plane in Arizona and they have Steak and Shake with them. They're bringing it back to Arizona. Is that hilarious? People do that. That is. So you wrote in about White Castle. I love White Castle. We actually have frozen White Castle here, and also Carvel ice cream here is in Arizona. They bring it out. It's frozen.
Well,
Everything's frozen in Arizona.
Let's hear what Estelle has to say in Kansas City and Columbia, Missouri. Listen on Catholic Radio Network. Hi, Estelle.
Oh, hi there. How are you all?
Great. So glad you joined the conversation.
Well, I live in Kansas City, and Date's Barbecue, and can't think of the other one. But Date's Barbecue is one of our famous barbecue places. And but I'm originally from Columbia, Missouri, and when there's not a football game, don't go on a football game, but Shakespeare Pizza and Tony's Pizza is famous.
Yeah. Well, Estelle, I have to ask you this. There's a lot of areas of the country, including where EWTN is headquartered in Alabama, that would claim to have the best barbecue. So I don't know what you have to say to that. Do you think yours is the tops, numero uno?
Of course, KP.
That's right. No, I love buying barbecue sauces that are from Kansas City. I look for those on the shelf whenever I get a chance. So, Debbie, I'm sure you've had a little bit of barbecue in your time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love barbecue. And you know what's great about it? It's one of those meals that they're fun. It's fun to eat. It can be a little messy, right? Sometimes, but it's fun. It just you tend to smile when you're eating barbecue. Maybe that's why you always have it at outdoor events. What do you think, Estelle?
Yes. The food trucks usually have a lot of their own personal barbecue sauces. So, sometimes it's a challenge. You don't know if it's going to be sweet or if it's going to be tangy or hot. So,
hot,
but,
yeah.
it's a chance to take, and usually it's still barbecue and it's still delicious.
Yeah. Hot would be my choice. I've just never perfected cooking ribs for some reason. They always don't turn out well, but my baby brother Jim is a master at that, so I always encourage us to have wings whenever he's around doing the cooking.
I love it.
That sounds great.
Well, thank you for
some
sharing
people-
with us today. We appreciate it.
Okay, God bless you all.
God bless you too, Estelle. Wow,
That is
that's great
wonderful.
conversation. Yeah.
I'm getting really hungry though. See, I'm easily influenced.
Let's talk to Robert in Lafayette, Louisiana, listening on Christ the King radio. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning. How are y'all today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, great. Okay, from Lafayette, Louisiana, there's a long list, but I had to narrow it down, so I'm glad I had time to think about it before I had to pick one. I would have to say gumbo, and it's getting close to gumbo time, which is usually October when the weather cools down a little bit, and it's done various ways. There's chicken and sausage gumbo, there's chicken andouille, there's duck andouille gumbo, seafood gumbo, shrimp, oysters, crab. Some people put okra in it, depending on how you want to do that. And then just about any kind of seafood, shrimp etouffee, boiled crawfish, shrimp creole, trout almondine, trout meunière. Just, I mean, the list kind of goes on because this is South Louisiana, and we kind of know how to cook.
Sure. Wow. Are you a native there, Robert? It sounds like you know the cuisine pretty well, like somebody who's been there at least a long time.
Yes, I grew up in South Louisiana. I grew up in New Orleans and then moved to Lafayette. I went to school at the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. And my wife's from this area, so we have the best of both worlds.
Awesome.
Nice.
You know, another thing I had when I was in New Orleans that I had never seen before, I am not a fan of oysters at all, especially raw. But Robert, I with the people I went out with, they ordered some grilled oysters. Is that something that's kind of big there in your area?
Oh, yeah. And then you can do those different ways. You can have oysters Bienville, oysters Rockefeller, which are different ways to grill them with different sauces that you put on them and grill them that way, which is outstanding. But raw oysters are pretty good, too, I got to say. And now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know.
So
So
you know, it's funny,
Robert,
we don't eat meat on Fridays as we are not wont to do. But you know, it's kind of tough for us to make it to consider it a sacrifice
Right.
with all of the seafood that we have around.
right.
Tough penance down there, Robert. I'll tell you. Go ahead, Deb.
That's
Well,
right.
but it's
tough penance.
Robert. It sounds like you have a mix of all different kind of spices. With, you say the way you can make the different, the gumbo in different ways and stuff like that. All sorts of stuff that you have. So it sounds like your cuisine has a lot of the spices and the ingredients that tend to, you get used to, right? So your palate is used to it. So my question is, when you go to other places, do you find the meals being kind of blah and drab? Because that sounds like there's a lot of rich ingredients in it. I'm just curious if you got used to kind of that food, and then when you go to other places, everything kind of maybe tastes like cardboard.
Well, I wouldn't. It depends on where we are. We've traveled a good bit. We've been to Rome, the Holy Land. We've been to London. We've been all up in the East Coast and West to some degree. But when in Rome, do like the Romans. So when if I went to Arizona, I would eat Mexican food because their Mexican food is outstanding. It's nothing like we have here. The Mexican food we have here is not like Arizona. When I go to if I'm in Tennessee or that part of the country, I'll hang with barbecue. I typically won't eat fish unless I'm on the coast somewhere. And then even then, that's kind of a little different because we do have a lot of spices. A lot of that's because New Orleans is a port city, and so you have a lot of commerce coming from overseas into the port. And then one of the reasons why the food's a little spicy is because, and for the Cajun cuisine, which is different than Creole, the Cajun cuisine was a lot of 4 cuts of meat, and so they would spice it up so that it was palatable, and that had to do with because the Acadians, as you know, got expelled from Nova Scotia and then wound up in South Louisiana, where we are here. So I wouldn't say it's bland. Well, some of it is, but it's hard to travel and expect. So we kind of stay with hamburgers and fried chicken and baked chicken and stuff like that because and with dessert.
Real quick, we got the music, Robert. Got a break coming up. Okay.
Banana Foster, bread pudding souffle.
Awesome, beautiful. I am just famished right now. Robert, thank you. We've got Lori, Lou, Tricia, Michael, and a phone line open talking about what food is your part of the country known for. 833-288-3986.
Join EWTN Radio for live coverage of the 2022 Family Celebration from Phoenix, Arizona, featuring talks from your favorite EWTN television and radio hosts. Saturday, October 1st at noon Eastern on EWTN Radio.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. Children are a gift from God and a tremendous blessing. But does that mean that every time we were pregnant, we were always excited about having another baby? To tell you the truth, not always. Sometimes we were under financial or emotional stress, or the job situation was tricky, and the thought of another child seemed overwhelming. But do you know what? It always worked out.
Feelings of being overwhelmed or even crying at a pregnancy test are very human, and it's okay to be human. Sometimes God puts things in our path that are difficult, but they're there for a purpose. Feelings of being overwhelmed can prompt you to get the support you need, or change jobs, or get your finances in order. These feelings can also drive us to our knees, so we depend on our Lord even more.
When you experience that surprise pregnancy, get on the same page with your spouse. Seek out good friends who will encourage you. And remember, you can always imagine the difficulties that life will bring, but you can't imagine the grace that God will provide in that moment.
To listen to our podcast, visit us at messyfamilyminute.org.
We've heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. However, at any age, we need a village around us that helps make sense of life's challenges. Our Catholic faith through prayer and God's Word is part of finding peace. But when you talk with a certified life coach, you start to make those turning points that deepen your walk with God. When you're ready to build your community, you can get a free consultation today at standtalltoday.com. That's standtalltoday.com.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
We'll get back to the phones in just a minute if you'd like to. There's an open phone line, so Tom Price is waiting to hear more food stories from where you live. That would be great if you could call in 833-288-3986. We're not going to mention every type of food and every type of drink today, but we'll get to the ones that you want to highlight. And I just wanted to say, I think I caught when Robert was signing off, he said something about bread pudding, and I said, did he say bread pudding? And Jerry said, yes. And I said, I love bread pudding. I just had it the other night. I absolutely love bread pudding, but I don't like the bread pudding with raisins in it. I like it with chocolate chips in it. So I'm very particular about bread pudding. But before we get to Lori in Buffalo, Paula on YouTube, we're waving to you, Paula. Paula says, Debbie, my husband is from Caldwell, New Jersey. Way to go. I love your husband already. And wants to know if you remember Caldwell Pizzeria. Absolutely. And also, I will tell you, Paula, my all-time favorite, definitely Caldwell Pizzeria, but I loved Roseland Pizzeria. I don't know if it's still there, but it was so good. The way they did, how they tossed the pizza and their sauce and the cheese and all of the ingredients that go into making their special pies were phenomenal. So yes, I I'm not joking when I say I think New Jersey has the best pizza in the world. I really believe it. And other people have said that, actually. People have visited New Jersey and they're like, it has really good pizza. So it's something I'm quite fond of.
Excellent. Well, let's see what Lori would like to contribute to the discussion today in, like you said, Debbie, Buffalo, New York. Lori, welcome to Take Two.
Hi. Thank you.
Sure.
I love to listen to your show.
Oh, thank you.
A really a go-to place here in Buffalo is Ted's Hot Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And they do now have one in Arizona. I'm not sure where it is in Arizona. But that's it. It's not like a big chain restaurant. But they do charcoal hot dogs. And they have their own hot sauce and Loganberry. And, it's people that come here that have lived here, that moved away and they come back. It's definitely a go-to place.
Mm-hmm.
And and Anderson's roast beef, if you guys happen to be in Buffalo at all. Those, in fact, they're right across the street from one another. Anderson's custard and roast beef, they're really the go-to places in town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to that end, Lori, isn't there something I've heard about before? I was encouraged to try it when I went to Buffalo. Beef on weck, is that what they call it?
Oh yeah, yep, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Kaiser roll with kimwick, caraway seeds, and salt on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the roast beef, if it's done right, a little au jus on it, and horseradish,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, isn't there? We went to Buffalo many times, actually Williamsville, for pledge drives at the station.
It's right outside of the hotel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a Ted's Hot Dogs right on Transit Road.
Yeah, right outside the hotel where we stayed for the Station of the Crosses. There's Ted's, and
that's right.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct. We do have a Ted's Hot Dog in Tempe, Arizona, and you'll be happy to know, Lori, I don't know if it's open yet. I think it might be. In the town that I live in, Gilbert, Arizona, there is a second location of Ted's Hot Dogs opening, or it has opened already. So it's probably right up the street from me, and I may just have to drive there after the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great if you just want a quick lunch or whatever, and on a spring day after winter or whatever, it's just mobbed with people just wanting a hot dog,
I'll bet. Well, awesome, Lori. Have a great day, please, and thank you for being part of our discussion about what food is or drink is our part of the country known for. And Lori in Buffalo says Ted's Hot Dogs, and also we touched on beef on weck. So thank you, Lori. That will free up a phone line at 833-288 3986. And we got a little bit more social media here. Cynthia, watching on Facebook, says Tucson is also the home of the chimichanga, created at the El Charro restaurant downtown Tucson. Debbie, that's not too far from you.
That is right. Yeah, that is right, and it is the best chimichangas. I mean, I'll tell you what, we've definitely perfected the chimichanga. It's amazing. And when I go and eat Mexican, that's all my husband and I have. I actually have a vegetarian one. He has a beef one, the machaca beef, and it's fantastic.
Well, Zach emailed take2@EWTN.com and says pierogies are very popular where I live here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're absolutely delicious, Zach. Thanks for weighing in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, it's driving me crazy. So when we stayed in Williamsville for the Station of the Cross, was it at Salvatore's Grand Hotel?
Salvatore's Grand, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was that's where we stayed, where Russell's Steaks and Chops and more. They have great steaks there too. See, we're going to need to make a pilgrimage back to back east. We're going to just have to, okay? Why? Because we love the food and the people and everyone else. Okay, let's hear what Lou has to say in St. Louis. Hello, Lou. Welcome.
Yeah, nice to talk to you all. First of all, happy Memorial of St. Vincent de Paul. I'm a Vincentian here, so I wanted to get that in. And St. Louis, it's fantastic. I'm not a native, but I've lived here for 20 years, and here's some of the stuff that people talk about. Provel cheese, that's a mixture of cheddar, Swiss, and provolone. toasted ravioli, and gooey butter cake. It says it was first made by accident in the 30s by a German-American baker who reversed the proportions of butter and flour in cake batter. And from what I believe I hear, too, the ice cream cone was first appeared at the St. Louis World Fair in 1904. So that's some of the stuff from here.
Nice. Okay, so I have to share something that you'll get a kick out of, Lou. So my former husband is from St. Louis, Missouri, and he and his family started a restaurant in Arizona, and they were the first ones to bring toasted ravioli to Arizona. So there you go. Little trivia there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's good where you are, Debbie. I've actually had it though in some places other than St. Louis, where it apparently originates, and it just wasn't quite the same, So sometimes you just have to go back to the source, but not always, because some people like you were transplants. You should open up a pizzeria, Debbie. That's what you and Marty should do.
But it's not going to be like Jersey pizzeria, though. You got to have the water and the cheese and everything. You got to be flying all that in, too. Yeah. But thanks, Lou. Thanks for weighing in and sharing what's special about the St. Louis area. We agree. So thank you for that. There's still time for another one of our Take Two family members to brag about their area and what food, or how about some beverages? I know there's certain sweet teas and all sorts of drinks that go great with food. Here's the number, 833-288-3986.
Okay, we're going to go to Tricia in Erie, Pennsylvania, listening on Alexa today. Hi, Tricia. Are you there, Tricia?
Yes, I am.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for your patience. What would you like to tell us about today?
The Permane brothers, they're known for their Pittsburgher sandwiches. They put coleslaw, which is like a vinegar-based coleslaw, and French fries on their sandwiches. It was started back at the Great Depression when the steel mill workers would, be working all day, and they'd have a short break for lunch, and they throw all of the stuff on the sandwich so they could eat with one hand because their hands were filthy. So they're actually really good. Now it's like a franchise. I love their sandwiches, but I don't want to eat anything all day preparing to eat one of those big sandwiches. And Debbie just mentioned something about beverages, and if I had to pick a beverage, I would have to say the Boston Shake is one of my favorite things to eat because it's a milkshake with a sundae on top. Amazing.
Wow.
My goodness.
Wait, Tricia, I have to ask a question. So they put coleslaw on their sandwiches. Is it like a deli sandwich? Because I do that naturally. I've always done that. I love that.
So they do burgers, and they also do like hoagies, pretty much any type. They do chicken, they do subs, but they put the fries and the coleslaw right on the burger or sandwich, and that's been their tradition since 1933.
Nice.
Is when that started.
Wow.
A lot of different restaurants and chains have actually adopted that, because I see it a lot as I travel around the country.
Yes.
I have to ask you too, Tricia. You mentioned the Pittsburgher, and doesn't former Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger have a restaurant that's called like the Roethlisberger or something?
Yes, I believe so.
He's got the perfect name for it, So.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, enjoy your next Pittsburgher, Tricia, and Debbie and I, as we talk about going to the East Coast. See, she's the note taker on the program, and I know she's writing down all of these places, and we may just have to do a whirlwind tour of the whole United States and Canada and go around the world. So.
Well, make sure you add that Boston Shake to that list.
It's a deal.
Have
it's
a
a
good
deal.
one.
You too.
Thank you. We thought about this. Jerry and I we prayed about it. We haven't come to a conclusion yet about like renting like an RV and going across the United States and all that. Wouldn't it be great to have just restaurants and we just talk, have God talk at all these restaurants, and we're eating good food and learning and growing, and I just think it'd be fun. We should try it.
Well, absolutely. I'm open to anything. We'll pray about that and see what the Holy Spirit has in mind. In the meantime, the Holy Spirit has opened a phone line for you to call in today. We're asking you what cuisine, food, drink, restaurant, chain, whatever is your part of the country very famous for. 833-288-3986. And our call screener, Tom Price, tells us today the Wahlberg family founded Wahlburgers. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I bet those are good.
Yeah, I read all about it when on their TV show, on their show about their family, and it's very interesting how they started and everything. But that is cool. There's still plenty of time for you to call in, and you can just share real quickly with the world what's special about your neck of the woods. We want to hear it. Now, doesn't Walla Walla, Washington? What are they known for? The onions, right?
Yeah, the sweet Walla Walla sweet onions, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come somebody from Walla Walla's not calling in? One of my favorite cities in the whole world. Come on, you guys. Oh, Michael in Boston. Michael on the Station of the Cross. Hello, Michael. What are you proud of?
Hello, Jerry and Debbie. I was telling Tom Price I have my own particular favorite. It used to be a favorite. He comes from Boston. It's a real Irish city, especially the section I live in. It was like 90% at one point. And we have an Irish 7-course meal, which is a 6-pack and a potato, but that's not for everybody. but I was thinking about if any people coming this way, they're going to make it down. You can even get it in the city of Boston. It's really good. But if they make it down to Cape Cod, West Yarmouth, around that area there, the clam chowder, that's the number one. Any kind of seafood goes, but clam chowder, this place called, and I have no affiliation with them. I'm not making a buck off them, but I've been there, and it's called Captain Parker's. I think they've won the award for best chowder, and not just in Cape Cod. I think in the Northeast. And myself, I've tried the clam chowder up in Maine. It's either like too watery or too thick. And I tried. They had a Manhattan clam chowder, which I don't even know if that's even be called clam chowder. I don't know what it was. I thought it was kind of a soup, sorry, I'm sounding like a Little Red Riding Hood. This was too hot. This was too cold. But the stuff at Captain Pie, in fact, they have it in the retail stores now. And their secret is they don't put it in a can or a plastic thing. They have it in one of those cardboard containers. Inside, it's in one of those pouches, and it's the first soup that I've ever had that you'd think you're at the restaurant. I get it, and I live like 85 miles away from Cape Cod. I can buy it in the local thing, and again, it's not like I have some stock in it, but it's outstanding that way, and I would recommend anybody if they come, and I think they ship it out to other cities too. But if it's best to have it down on the Cape if they're going to be on the Cape.
Nice,
Good.
Michael. Yeah. Michael, I've told you this before. You know, our Take Two family loves it when you call in, just to let you know. They love you. They love how you share whatever's on your mind, and you do it so well, and they just love your voice. So we get that all the time. People will say, how's Michael doing from Boston? So that's you they're talking about.
Well, I'm doing a lot better because I'm retired now, so I get all the extra time to listen to you guys every day. Even if I'm not out in the car, I'm at home, I'm listening, and it's never boring because it's always something that it affects everybody. Either it could be something like this or something that hits the heart, and geez, we get 100,000 reasons to pray every day now when we hear those stories, don't we?
Right.
I've made a few trips to Boston, Michael. One of the places I went to was, I think it's called Union Oyster House. Is that familiar? That
goes all the way back to Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All those guys used to go in there. They had little plaques where they used to sit. And in fact, he's buried right up the street on Tremont Street, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, the Union Oyster House. And then there was a Bell in Hand. That was another one right next door. No, it's the Bell in Hand that goes back to the founding fathers. And then the Union Oyster was a little bit after that, but still, it's probably the oldest place there. It's right there in Faneuil Hall, right next door to Little Italy, the North End. Which is a good take for you think you're in Rome, getting the food there. And so come to Boston,
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, thank you so much. We so appreciate you calling in, and thank you for sharing about. I like how you made the distinction between New England clam chowder and Manhattan clam chowder. We used to get that all the time in the restaurant business. They would say, "Is it the creamy white sauce or the red soup for the that's for the Manhattan clam chowder?"
Yeah, that's what it looks like, tomato soup. So,
right. Too funny.
But, you guys are doing a great job. Great
Thanks.
ministry there.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks. You're always in our prayers. Please keep us in yours. And thanks for the great mouth-watering addition to our show today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Okay, we wanted to highlight the doctor is in with Dr. Ray Garendi, Monday through Friday afternoon, 1 Eastern Time on EWTN Radio. Dr. Ray takes calls and talks about family, marriage, and relationships. So please check it out, folks.
Okay. 833-288-3986. Getting close to the home stretch, but still time to get you on the program talking about what food or drink or cuisine is your part of the country or the world known for. 833-288-3986. And we're going to go to, what's that?
No, I got all our New Jersey folks who listen to Take Two are going, you better mention Taylor ham. Okay, Taylor ham. I mentioned it because it's big in New Jersey, and that is true. It's. I think some call it pork roll or something like. We called it Taylor ham. Have you ever had it? You fry it up with like eggs. You know, you have eggs and Taylor ham. Oh, you know what? You're going to be in Arizona. I'm going to bring you a Taylor ham sandwich.
Okay, awesome.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned something you said jogged my memory here. I was in Eastern Canada one time, and in the area where they have lobster rolls, which are really very good.
Oh, lobster rolls.
That was in New Brunswick, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, speaking of Canada, we're going to go to Will, who is in London, Ontario, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Will. Thanks for your patience.
Hi, Jerry. Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Great. How are you today, Will?
Good. I'm good. Yeah. Well, I don't know if where I grew up, about 20 minutes away from where I grew up, there's a town called Chatham, Ontario, and that's where apparently Hawaiian pizza was invented. So I don't know. I know the world either loves or hates Hawaiian pizza, and they can thank my hometown, I guess, for that. But myself, I love it. It's one of my favorites. But even up here, it's a love it or hate it. It's not. There's no in between with the Hawaiian pizza, and it's funny that it's about as far away from Hawaii as you can be, but that's where it came from. I don't know the name of the pizza place or anything like that, but I thought I should call in and let you know that that's where it's from.
I never knew that. Can you say the town again?
Chatham, C-H-A-T-H-A-M, Chatham, Ontario.
Okay, got you. Okay.
People's pizza, maybe, but.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe as the seventh course of a 7-course meal, it might be better.
Right.
Well, you know what, Will? I just want to say you're spot on about, especially when people really love pizza, they either love Hawaiian pizza with the pineapple on it or not. And I will tell you, I can stomach it, but it doesn't feel right to me because I grew up on traditional pizza, right? So this Hawaiian pizza is very different. Although I will tell you, I know it's very far away from Hawaii. The best fruit I ever had in my entire life, I will never have fruit like this, especially pineapple, and have that delicious taste, was in Hawaii. It was unbelievable, and I've never captured it again anywhere in the in the continental U.S. I've never captured it. I don't know, Jerry, have you been to Hawaii? The pineapple is amazing. You have been to Hawaii? Okay.
Yeah.
So then you know.
Yeah, and Will, we got a note here from our producer who apparently looked this up, or maybe he knew this because he knows a lot. He said Sam Panopoulos, a Greek immigrant who moved to Canada in 1954, created the first Hawaiian pizza at his restaurant Satellite, located, as you said, in Chatham, Ontario. So there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There's the backstory to that.
Another great thing out of Canada.
Yeah. Well, praise God. Yeah, a lot of good things in Canada. I love Ontario. I've been up there several times, Will. And
me too.
So, yeah, Debbie too. So thank you. Thanks for being a part of this conversation today. We appreciate it so much. As we promised, we're going to get to as many of your calls as we can. We also have a little bit more social media.
Isn't Hawaiian pizza, isn't it pineapple and like ham on it or something?
I was going to say ham or Canadian bacon. I'm not
Canadian
sure.
bacon,
Will, are you still with
something
us?
Oh, that's right. Was Will there?
Yep, ham and pineapple.
Ham and
Oh, it's
pineapple.
ham and pineapple.
Canadian bacon up here we call pea meal.
Okay.
Okay. Now we got it.
Awesome.
Lots of food to discover. This is great. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it. Wow.
Tracy from Pittsburgh recommends Oakmont Bakery. She says everything is heavenly. And watching on YouTube is Joanna. And Joanna says, I come from Poland. We are famous for hundreds of varieties of pierogies, sour dill pickles, which are cucumbers pickled in salt water, and dill and garlic and horseradish. And I can't pronounce the other name, but it's beet soup and also sauerkraut, meat cabbage rolls. Okay.
Ooh, that sounds good. So Gigi was just texting me, and we were saying that we both put pickles on our sandwiches with tuna, on our tuna sandwiches. That's a big thing we used to do back in Jersey. Did you ever do that? Put pickles on it?
Oh, I love pickles on everything.
Oh, yeah. So you did it too. Okay. All right. So that's not unique then to New Jersey. Okay, let's hear what everybody's weighing in, saying, oh, I like this, I like that. Some are saying they love Hawaiian pizza. Some are saying they don't like Hawaiian pizza. This is hilarious. Okay, Jim, where are we going next? Jim in Findlay, Ohio?
Yeah, Jim in Findlay, Ohio. Yeah. Jim, welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, Jim.
Tim.
Tim, okay. Hi, Tim.
Oh, it's Tim Mateo.
It's our Tim, yeah.
Well, first I wanted to say thank you for all the prayers and get well wishes.
Yeah,
from
sure.
my hospital vacation. But okay, three things here. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned Tony Paco's hot dogs in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, never heard of it. Nice.
Well, I'm surprised. But in Findlay here, we have Pizza's ice cream and Wilson's hamburgers. And the tradition that my mom and I had, it's kind of unofficial, but it could be in the middle of winter. It could be 20 degrees or less. And we go out for ice cream.
Oh.
She would either get a sundae or a pineapple shake. We get a pineapple. And I would get a chocolate shake or chocolate sundae. But like I said, not in summer, in winter.
Yeah. What was the name of the ice cream place you mentioned, Tim?
Dietz's.
Dietz's, okay.
Nice.
I was going to say, I was just going to comment on your comment about going out to get ice cream in the middle of winter. I mean, it's just when you've got a great place in your area, I like Debbie, where Debbie lives, Tim, you know this so well. It's, scalding hot in the summer, but I know, Debbie, that doesn't keep you from going out, to your favorite places and still having a hot meal, which you just really love. So, I think it's just fantastic, these options that we have all around the country and around the world.
Yeah, and I love the memory that you have with your mom getting the ice cream. I love it. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for weighing in. And prayers continue for you, and you're doing well, and that's great. And we just love you. So thank you for calling in. Okay, we have just 2 minutes, and I know maybe can we rush to Holly in Cincinnati? You're going to have to go fast, Holly. We're trying to squeeze you in.
Cincinnati chili.
What's special about it, Holly?
Skyline. I grew up on it. And there's nothing like a cheese coney or Cincinnati chili. It's worth the trip. And I used to live in Key West. If you make it to Key West, you've got to have conch fritters.
Conch fritters, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my two suggestions.
I ate at a Skyline Chili. I think if it's the same chain or franchise, Holly, in Florida one time, and I had this. It was chili over spaghetti. Is that one of the dishes that they have?
Yeah, 3 ways: chili and spaghetti.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
it can go all the way up to 5 ways if you add beans and onions, but there's nothing like it.
I know. Wow. Thanks, Holly. Great to have you with us on the show. Cameron in Hermiston, Oregon, was going to tell us watermelon is what they're well known for, and I love watermelon. Cameron, not going to have time to get you on the air. You're going to hear the closing music right in behind me and Debbie. Annie in Buffalo was also going to say chicken wings from the Anchor Bar.
Anchor Bar.
So
We've been there many
Cameron
times.
And Annie. Yeah.
Yeah. I love watermelon. Have I said that lately? I just love it's so refreshing, so good. Okay, so we're switching topics for tomorrow. We're asking, are you a gambler? any type of gambling, lottery tickets, casinos, maybe even the stock market. Are you a gambler? That's what we're talking about tomorrow. What do you think, Jerry? Should be a good discussion.
Yeah, it should be. And we're looking forward to that. Thank you for making this a great broadcast. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the show. Ace, Michael, and Tom, our show team today. For Debbie Georgiani, I'm Jerry Usher, wishing you a beautiful and blessed day. St. Joseph, pray for us.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
More to